Okay. We're holding the Mishnah. Shtei noshim shenishbu. Two women were taken captive. Zosa meres nishbeis. So good. So rabbinically, when a woman's taken captive, immediately rabbinically we say, presumption is she was defiled by the goy, okay, and therefore she's not permitted to a kohen. Steve, would you come over? So one of this says nishbeisi utorani. Zosa meres nishbeisi utorani eno nemonos. Each one says, I was taken captive, and the witnesses, we know, because they're witnesses. But nothing happened, we don't believe them. Right? Let's say one says about the other one, we were taken captive, I know she was not defiled, and the other one says, no, I know she was not defiled. They're believed. Because a single witness, since it's only rabbinic stringency, so therefore, Eid Echad, even a woman is believed. What's the chiddush? The chiddush is, you'd say, maybe they made up between themselves. You speak for me, and I'll speak for you. And maybe they're really lying. Say that. It's called Goldman. Each one's doing, like Emilas Chesed, each one's doing the other one a favor. But we say, we believe what they're saying, and therefore, each one's believing on the other. Ton Rabbona, Ani Tameyo, Chavirosi Torah. You hear this? They both come, and they say, we know they were both taken captive. And one of them says, I was defiled by the Goy, but my fellow woman was not. Definitely should be believed. I mean, she says about herself, so there's no goal in here. Nobody's doing anybody a favor here. She's putting herself in a very bad light. Nemenis. What about Ani Torah Chavrosi Tamei? Nemenis. She says she wasn't defiled, but the woman was. She was. She's not believed, right? She's not believed. Ani v'Chavrosi Tamei. Let's say she says, I and my fellow, we were both defiled. Right? Nemenes al atzmo, nemenes al chaverto. She's believed about herself. This is the concept of shav nashchatich disura. Meaning, even if witnesses would come now and say she was not defiled, she remains in a defiled state. I want just give me some water, please. Nemenes al atzmo, nemenes al chaverto. Ani v'chavirosi Torah. I, my fellow, a Torah. Nemeres al chaverto, nemeres al atzmo. Omamar. Now we can go over to Brisa. Ani Torah chavrosi tmei nemeres. Hechidam. What's exactly the case? She says she's Torah, and her fellow woman who was with her was defiled. She's not believed. Hechidam. Either like edim, if there are no witnesses whatsoever. Thank you. Either like Eidim, Latzmo, Amailo Nehemno, right? If there's no witness that she was ever taken captive, and she says, I'm Torah, why should she believe it's a special eater? Right? We have this until now. Nishbesi Torah Ni Kamri. She's saying, she introduces the fact that she was taken captive. So if you believe me I was taken captive, believe me I wasn't defiled. Elapshita, so what must we say? Dik Eidim, right? There are witnesses. And that's why when she says, I wasn't defiled, she's not believed. So that's the first case. She says, I'm Tahora, my fellow the other woman was. She's not believed on herself. She's not believed on the other woman. Let's see the middle case. Ani v'chavirosi tameya. Me and my fellow, we both raped. Defiled. Nemeres al atzmo ve'nemeres al chaverto. She's believed about herself. That's shav nashchatich yusura. She's not a believer. Idi keidim. So now we ask, amai lo mehemno. So why isn't she believed? Right? So evidently, what do we have to say? Shita deleke, there are no witnesses. That's why she's not believed about her fellow. So the beginning of the Mishnah of the Brisa is speaking, there are witnesses. The second one is speaking, the middle case is speaking, there are no witnesses. Amos Sefer, let's say the concluding case. Ani v'chayresi tahora. Myself and my fellow woman with tahora. Nemesa chaverta ve'nemes latzma. She's believed regarding her fellow, but not about herself. Vid like Eidim, but if we're speaking to no witnesses, Atzma my love him, why shouldn't she believed? So what must we say? The third case is speaking about Elapshit, who must say, they're all witnesses. So we have a problem. It's a funny structure in the Mishnah. The first case, the witnesses. The second case, the no witness. And the third case, there are witnesses. So Marasa asks, Reisha v'seifadika Eidim, it's just like Eidim. I mean, when Rabbi Yudah Nasi constructs a Mishnah, it's like a disjointed Mishnah. Usually there's a certain consistency through the Mishnah. Amar Abaye, not a problem. That is the reality. Reisha v'sefer dikeidim. The opening case is speaking with the witnesses. Then it told us that they were taken captive. The last case also. The middle case not. Mitzios lakeidim. Rav Papa says no. The kula ikeidim. All three cases there are witnesses. V'ika eid echod deka apich. And there's another witness that says contrary to what she says. What does that mean? Amra ani tmei of chevrosi Torah. She says, I am contaminated, and my fellow is Torah. V'amar lo eid echod at Torah v'chaver toch tmei. And the eid echod says, a single witness says, she said, she's tmei. She was defiled. And eid echod says she was not defiled. So what? It's irrelevant. That we say shav nashchat yichad. She says she's defiled. Even 10 witnesses come, right? She's defiled. And she says, and the fellow that you say she was Torah, I'm saying she was Tameya. She, when she says she was defiled, the single witness saying contrary to that is irrelevant because she accepted upon herself that she was defiled. And her fellow is considered Torah based on her testimony because she counters the testimony of the one. Okay, that's the first case. So the first case, that's it. The second case. Ani Torah v'chevrosi Tameya. We're speaking about the witnesses. She says, I am Torah, my fellow is Tameya. V'amar le'eid echod, at Tameya. Single witness says, you're Tameya. Oh. V'chaver toch Torah, and your fellow is Torah. I kevadi ke'edim. She herself, although she's saying Torah, it's irrelevant. She's not believed she's Torah because the witness is telling she was taken captive. Right? Lav kol kehemna, love kamino. She's not believed, but chaverta, but her fellow is mishtari. She's permitted. Apum deid echod, because the single witness says that the woman who was with her wasn't raped. That's the second case. Third case. Ani v'chayvirosi tameya. Third case. She says myself and my fellow were both raped. That's what she says. V'amar le'eid echod. And the single one says, at chaveros Torah. Both of you were not raped. Right? You're both Torah. So what is it? She that she says she was raped. He could say Torah from today forever. She's also. Because the Shav Nachat Chatich Disura. Chavente Mishtar Purei Echod. So in other words, Hayaholamali. Hainu Reisha. The third case, that's the first case, that's the first Mishnah. We have three cases. Ma'al to say, Mehani Tavar Torah Ninu. Maybe you'd say like this, an unbelievable thing. She said, myself and my fellow we were both raped. Okay, that's what this one says. So we say that, and the Eid Echad says, no, you were both Tahoros. So we say, she is not believed. She still remains, because Shav Nachatich Di Surah, and the other one is permitted. So you would think, Mal de Seimo, here, Hani Tavar Torahs, and really they're both Torahs. V'hai de Kamra Hochi Thomas Nafshi Plishtim Hik. The Ko'avdo, right? Meaning that she wants to say, she wants to mess up her fellow. You know, women, So if she's not going to be able to mess up the other one unless she condemns herself. I'm willing to die to really hurt the other one. So really, she really doesn't mean she's Tameya. But she's willing to say she was defiled, so the other one should be condemned. Yeah? Kamasha, if that's the case, maybe it wouldn't be considered Shav Nashchatich Disura. Because she really doesn't mean she's Tameya. She's only saying it to bury the other one. Kamashvala, no. Ani Charasi Torah. Kamashvala, no. That we say that when she says Tameya, she's Tameya, finished. That's still the Shav Nashchatich Disura. And when she said the other one's Tameya, we don't believe her. Why? Because you have an Eid Echad saying she was Torah. Ani v'chaverasi Torah, whatever she says, me and my fellow are both Torah. V'amalo Eid Echad at chaveros Tameya, and Eid Echad says, I kevadi ka'edim. Regarding herself, she remains Tameya. Lav kol kamino, so she's not believed by us. Chaver to mishtari apum dido. Hasulam. What do we have? Need that case? We already said in the first case when she says, Hani hainu reisha the reisha. Mal the same or keep mehemna b'mokum tefosla nafsho. Maybe I'd say, when is she believed? If she says, I'm Tameya and my fellow was a Torah. Because that clearly tells me she's telling me the truth. Right? But maybe if she says, we're both Torah, maybe they figure, something. Just as we don't believe ourselves, maybe we shouldn't believe her regarding her fellow. Because it goes hand in hand. Avo b'mokum the michshur and nafshe emelo mehemno kamashla. No, that she's no worse than a regular eid echod, and we believe her. Chen shtei anoshim. We have a case. Zom a kohen and zom a kohen. Person comes and he says he's a kohen. We don't know what he is. Right? He could be a mamzer. He could be who knows what. He comes and says, I'm a kohen. And the other one says, I'm a kohen. Ain't on them on it. They're not believed. They're not believed the kohen. We're not talking about here getting aliyah. Right? Because in those days there was a question, do you give him truma? Do you let him marry into certain kinds of families? Do you let him do the avoda? Not believed. What about if one kohen, one says on the other one he's a kohen, the other one says the other one is a kohen? Haril Nemon, they're believed. Why? Because he's an eid echod. To bring a person, to elevate him to kuna based on testimony of a single witness, not. Even a shvuya, right? If she's a captive, eid echod's believed. Rabbi Yehuda doesn't argue. Why? Because a woman's taken captive, the presumption is she was raped. That's what, but that's rabbinical. On the Torah level, she's not. It's a rabbinic stringency. But if a person is not a kohen, eats truma. That's a daraisa. Therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says a single witness say a woman wasn't raped, that's sufficient. But to say you're a kohen, for that you need two witnesses. Because the whole thing is a rabbinic stringency. It's a rabbinic stringency. What do we? We're presuming if a guy has a woman probably he raped her, finished. But that's really it's a stringency. We don't know for a fact, so we should go with the chazaka, right? She has a cheskes kashrus. There's a presumption she wasn't defiled on the Torah level, rabbinically. So therefore, neirechot. But let's say we don't know if a person is a kohen now. A single one says he's a kohen. Oh, we're going to allow him to eat truma now? He eats truma. If a non-kohen eats truma, that's a Torah violation. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says for that you need two witnesses. Although for the other case, one witness is sufficient. For this you need two witnesses. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda says, "A malan kun al pi echod." Omer Rabbi Loza a mosai. He says, when don't you believe a single witness? Rabbi Loza says that's only if it's questionable. There are murmurings that maybe he's not a kohen, maybe he's a mamzer, maybe who knows what he is. Al-Mokshin Orin. But if there's no question, there's no reason to doubt the testimony of one person, we always, whether the murmurings, no murmurings, a single witness is sufficient. That's his name, Ben Asgan. Right? Howard Birnbaum. Never heard. Okay? Now, what do we need all these cases? We have a case, a woman, we started at the beginning of the parak, right? A person says, the field is yours, and I bought it from your father. You know, I was married, I was divorced. I was taken captive, I wasn't defiled. Right? Then we have, let's see. Kolahani Lomalik. Di Tono Modre Bishua Mishum Dika Jora de Mamona. The case, first case was a man goes and he tells him that verse, the field used to be your father's, I bought it from your father. Right? So there's a Jora de Mamona. 1 second. Now, why do we believe the person when he says, I bought it? I mean, he has a migo. A person doesn't do something which is detrimental to him, correct? Here see, the question is like this. Person says, it was your father's and I bought it. There's no question. When he said it was his father's, he already knew he was going to say, I bought it. You understand? It's not, it was like an afterthought. If it's an afterthought, say, once he said it's his father's, now you have to prove you bought it. But let's say he said, initially when he says it was his father's, he already had in mind to say, I bought it. So how do we know he had it in mind? Because he understands, if he doesn't have in mind to say it immediately, the man's out of his mind. That means he's giving away the field. That means he's a squatter. A man's in a field, he says, you see the field I have. He's informing the son. It used to be your father's, I bought it from him. There's no question that initially when he said it was his father's, he thought of that. He knew he was going to say that initially. Correct? Because if not, the man is going to forfeit the field. Aval Edim, the Lekadjora de Mamona. But what about if two witnesses come and say, Ksav Yodenu, right? You want to substantiate a document. You want to certify the document. So you need witness to testify. It's our signature, but we were forced. Maybe originally when they said it was signature, they didn't have in mind to say we were forced. That's an afterthought. So it's an afterthought, we can't believe you. It's like you want to change your testimony, right? So therefore it's a chiddush that we say even there, right? Because they're not involved. They have nothing to gain or lose, right? But who said? Maybe they didn't think about that initially. Aval edim, delek dramona, emolog, vitona edim, yishum de la alma, right? You'd say they have nothing to gain or lose, so therefore the presumption is, of course, they thought that when they said it's our signatures, they were going to say, we will compel, we will force the sign. Avali dilanavsho, but where she has to gain, she says, I was married, I was divorced. Yeah. Ebalo, viashmin hani tarki mishum de mamona. Avalei shishti surei malo. I'd say, what about a woman says, I was married? The case of, what's his name? The document. Certifying document, or the case was your field. You know why I believe this? I say, Peshiter. It's all money. Whatever it says. I'm a married woman, I was divorced. We all say, the Mishnah says, you say, Peshiter. Like, I believe you were married, I believe you were divorced. Because you introduced them information. You want to know something? Maybe when you say you were married, you didn't think about you were going to say you were divorced. So I accepted that testimony. Now we have to prove that you weren't divorced. And what am I dealing with? I'm dealing with, it's adultery. We have no witnesses proving that you were divorced. Nevertheless, we still say it. Right? So if that, what do we need? The next case? I was taken captive and I'm Torah. It says in the Mishnah she's believed. Because there's a chiddush there. Because the chiddush is, because it says if after she gets married, witnesses come, we don't tell the husband you must divorce her. That's very good if you say it's going on the what? On the case of Nishbesi, but what about if it's going on the ratio? Right? Which is what? Because of Aveshis Ish. So what do I need the case of Nishbesi? If the case, even the witness come afterwards, we had an argument before. A woman says, I was married, I was divorced, then she gets married. Now two witnesses come and say she was married at one time. Do we allow her to remain married or not? So it's an argument, remember? Do we say, Eini Shemez upon of, only she won't have that insolence in the presence of her husband? Right. But if it's not, she will. So if that's the case, the person has to get rid, they have to separate. But if you say a woman doesn't have the insolence, even if she is married, right? Even not in the presence, then she stays. So if you have that case, what do we need the case of Nishbesi Torani? So if Eishis Ish, we allow her to stay. So what's the chiddush? A woman says, I was taken captive and I wasn't defiled. If you believe a woman that she was divorced, even though the witnesses come to allow her to remain married, so by Nishbesi, which was taken captive, which is purely rabbinic stringency, you shouldn't believe her. It's a kolsh game. So that's what it says. What do we have with the case of two women? What do we have to introduce the thing about two women taken captive? You would say, you know something? I would say maybe they're not believed regarding one another because each one's doing the other one a favor. They made up in advance. What do we need the two cases by Kohanim? We have the case, the same idea. If I'm not worried about Gomlin by the women, why by the Kohanim I'm worried about Gomlin? Because we wanted to introduce there the Machlokes Reb Yehuda. Because Reb Yehuda says no. If two Kohanim, they each want to testify for the other, we don't believe him. So therefore I had to introduce the case of the Kohanim. Toner Abonon. Ani Kohen v'chaveri Kohen. Okay? I am a Kohen, my friend's a Kohen. Nemon lachilo b'truma. Beinu nemon la'asiyah wisha. You hear this? You accept his testimony to Kiddush Truma, but that he should be able to marry a woman that is a kosher Jew, that we don't. Achie Gimel. You have to have three people. You know what three mean? Mean him plus another two. No. Doesn't mean about it. You need two people on the other person to elevate him that he should be able to marry a woman. Okay? Achie Gimel meidim al zeh u'shnei meidim al zeh. You need altogether. You need three. Reb Yehuda Omer af enu nem lachilut. Reb Yehuda says I disagree. Even for truma, one's not believed on the other. Eid echad is not sufficient. Achu shlosh shnai midim al zeh shnai midim al zeh. Lemeimro, the Reb Yehuda Chai Shel Gomel. It's evidently why isn't a single witness believed to say he's a Kohen? Because we suspect that they made up in advance You do for me, I'll do for you. But they're lying. There's that suspicion. Therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says you need 2 witnesses in each of them. Rabbanon, lo chaysh, but the Chacham will say that you believe each one on the other one. A single Kohen is each one's believed. Evidently, they're not concerned that maybe each one's doing the other one a favor. They made up in advance. So Rabbi Yehuda says that you need 2 witnesses on each. That tells me he's chaysh l'gomlin, right? That he's suspecting that in advance they made up each one's going to lie on behalf of the other one, on behalf of the other. The Chacham aren't concerned. But we found, for the contrary, it seems to the Chachamim are suspected for gomlim, and Rabbi Yehuda is not. What's the case? Did not listen to the story. Hachamorich dichlu. So you have mule drivers. What are they? People who they go to a certain they go to certain communities. They buy wheat cheap, and then they transport it to another community and they sell it for a higher price. It's like, you bring in tiles from who knows where, you sell them in New York, charge you a fortune. Somebody here knows that business pretty well, right? You hike the price. Hachamorin shenichlus le'ir. Now the question is like this: the Gemara says that wheat that's aged, that dries out, quality-wise, it's a better quality wheat, because if it's moist, it's not as good. First, besides it's being moist, it has a greater chance it could rot. Once it dries, its quality better, and it's not susceptible to rotting. When it's moist, it's susceptible to a lot of things. So let's say 2 mule drivers come, and one says, my wheat that I have, my grain is moist, is newly cut grain, harvested grain. But my friend over there, the grain he's selling is yoshan, it's old. Okay? So this is not a halakha question yet. Echad man, sheli chol shel chaveri yoshin. Sheli einu mesukin. He says, mine is untithed. My grain is tevel. That means you have to tithe it. If you take my grain, it has to be tithed. Shel chaveri mesukan. But my friend's grain, it's been tithed. They're both Jews, these mule drivers. The Chacham say eino nemon. They're not believed. So why aren't they believed? Because we suspect this guy, he says, he'll look bad to make his friend look good. They'll go to the next community, they'll switch it. He'll say the other way. Mine is not, Each of us will play the game as we go along. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Nemon. Rabbi Yehuda says they are believed. So what does that mean? So Rabbi Yehuda is not suspect of Gomlim. Each one they worked it out between the 2 of them. So we have a contradiction. Rabbi Yehuda says regarding a Kohen, each one's not believing about the other one because because they may have made up among themselves that each one's going to testify on the other one's behalf. And yet regarding this, whether it was tied or not, Rabbi Yehuda says they are believed. So you have to invert the positions. Otherwise you have a contradiction. Rabbi Yehuda is chaysh l'gomlim. The Chachomim are not chaysh l'gomlim. Mean Chacham are not suspect that they prearranged this kind of scheme between them. And Rabbi Yehuda is suspect that they prearranged this scheme. Abayam alolam lo sepuch. Rabbi says you don't have to invert it. We're talking about 2 different things. Even though Rabbi Yehuda is by a Kohen, each one's not believed regarding the other one. The Chacham say they are. This is something different. But my kilo, the reason why Rabbi Yehuda over here says they believe, we're talking about grain that you purchase from an Amoritz. From an Amoritz, tithe. Really, even Amoritz, we say Rov Amoratzim Rasim. The majority of Amoritz, they do take. Rabbinically, there's a rabbinic stringency. When you purchase grain from an Amoritz, you should tithe it again. So therefore, that's the reason why Rabbi Yehuda is makil. Normally, if I'm dealing with a bona fide question, I don't take chances. I suspect you. No, there's an expression in Hebrew, kabdeu v'chajdeu. So even in modern Hebrew, kabdeu v'chajdeu. You honor a person simultaneously. Don't be gullible. Don't be a fool. You have to suspect. There's some basis to. You have to do your due diligence. No, you don't give your right and left arm. I respect you. I value, but it's not so simple. So the same thing. So I'm dealing with a bona fide question. Rabbi Yehuda says, can't take a chance. But I'm dealing with the whole issue is purely a stringency, rabbinic stringency, because Rov Amaratzim Ma'ashrmeim. He says, Rov Amaratzim Mayoritz Ma'ashrmeim. So Rabbi says, Rabbi comes in with a fierceness. The Rabbi Yehuda Kasha. So good, so you've reconciled, there's no steer Rabbi Yehuda. What about Drabbana all Kasha? Oh, we have a contradiction in the Chachomim. Chachom say before, where I'm dealing with a real question, they say, we don't suspect the man. And here, you should be lenient. Here it says, you don't trust him. Elder Rabbi Yehuda lo kasha kedishninon. The reason why Rabbi Yehuda is not contradictory, as we just explained, because speak about demai. Demai, since it's in exceptional stringency, we let it go. But what about the Chachamim? Rabbaner lo kasha kedi Omer Rav Chama bar Ukva b'shklei umnosa biyodo. You know what? Each of them, when they would sell grain, what would they do? They would have, let's say, you'd buy a bushel of wheat, a bushel of grain. They would have something. So what happens to the bush? How would they sell a bushel? It was up to the rim. Let's say it went above the rim, so they would have like an implement. They would like smoothen out the top, and they would have scale. They both have scales. They have all the implements, so it's clear that it's for immediate sale. Come say, something. There's already evidence here that there's what to suspect. If there's no basis to suspect anything, we don't suspect. That's the Chachamim. But if it's klimnos biyodo, if each of them have the selling apparatus, so if yours is not tithe and yours is this and that, whatever it may be, you have the new grain. So what do you have all the sales apparatus? You have the smoother, and you have the weigher, and you have everything else. What's going on over here? So evidently, in this community, yours is not for sale, and the other is for sale. The next community, you switch roles. His is for sale, mine's for sale. So because there's already evidence that you're playing games, that's why the Chachamim are machmir. Guy walks in. He hasn't eaten. Meantime, he has a fresh food stain on his jacket. What do you mean he hasn't eaten? He hasn't eaten in 3 days, so where did this come from? Okay, same kind of story. Itmar. Interesting halacha. Now, what's the halacha if an Amoritz touches a vessel, or his clothing touch a vessel, rabbinically it's contaminated, right? Because rabbinically, since they weren't careful in many things, rabbinically we give them a contaminated status. So let's say you have a potter, makes pots. A potter, it's made of cheres, of earthenware. What happens? It becomes contaminated. You can't even put it in the mikveh. So the person goes and he has pots, and he camps alongside the public thoroughfare, and he puts his pots, so the inner pots closer to the wall of the building, and you have pots which abut on the Rosh Hashanah. And the guy goes to daven mincha, comes back. Now we don't know what happened. What's the status of the pots? He didn't have somebody watching his pots. As he was davening mincha, Howard, you can't daven mincha with your eyes half closed, right? Somebody may have walked by and touched the pots, or his clothing brushed against the pots. And if he's not moritz, it's over. His pots are contaminated. Okay? He went down to wash his face to wake up. Okay? He went to drink water from the yor. Hapnimas toros, the inner pots, which are not adjacent to where people walk by, they retain their pure status because nobody wherever he went. Vachitzonos, it's irrelevant. No, he left his pots between the building and the place where the people walk by. He went down to the river. Okay. Has nothing to do with where the water is. So why are they introducing water? Because why did he leave his pots? He could have said he went to daven mincha. Same thing, right? He went to make breakfast. Okay, now it's resonating. Okay. Hapnimis toros vachitzonos tameos. The inner pots are pure. The outer ones are tameos. Somewhere else, Tanya elu ve'elu tameos. We learned the brisa that the inner and the outer pots, they're all contaminated. Omer Rav Chama bar Ukva b'shklei umnosa biyodo. Yeah, we're speaking about the man had a for sale sign. Yeah, the perp put up a for sale. So when a person has a for sale sign, what does that mean? That means everybody goes. They touches the inner pots, the outer pots. Everybody's checking, right? So because everybody touches and is curious what exactly it is, they touched everything. It says both the inner and outer, both Toros. What is that speaking about? Meaning there's no for sale signs. Nobody would touch it. So we're asked, well, we have a third Mishnah. The inner pots are Toros and the outer Tameos. So what's that? We understand. Where you have the for sale sign, they're all Tomei. With no for sale sign, they're all Torah. So what's the case with the inner Tomei? It's Torah and the outer Tomei. What's that case? The Smichlushas Arabim. There's no for sale sign. Nobody touched it intentionally, but it's alongside Rosh Hashanah. Now, Rashi explains, it's more elsewhere. You know, they had wagons. They would have, like they have today, they would have, they put stones or vertical posts that the wagon wheel shouldn't get too close to the buildings, to the house. Because the wagon will actually continuously rub against the building, it'll weaken the foundation, and eventually the house will collapse. So they would have, let's say, so many feet between the thoroughfare where the wagons would go and the houses. The man puts his pots there, between the building and pretty close to the thoroughfare. So what people will now walk the thoroughfare. Say, inadvertently, even though it's not for sale, what happens if that coat should go over or go in the pot? So we say the garment of an Amoritz is like a sheretz. If a sheretz goes within an earthenware pot, what's the halacha? Even if it doesn't touch it. Forget about break. It's tomei. It's tomei. That's the halachas. That's it. The smicha, Rosh Hashanah, u'shub chafufe, Rosh Hashanah, because they rub against it. New question. Why by truma are they? Why is it a different argument? Because we're talking about if you want him to have truma, you're going to elevate him to yichus. If you allow a person to eat truma, you're going to give him that pedigree status. Okay, so that's the argument. Rabbi Yehuda says you have to have two witnesses, since truma will elevate him to another level. So therefore, we can't unless we have two witnesses. Chum says no. Even though he eats truma, we're not going to elevate him. We're not going to elevate him. Interesting shaila. Let's say a person writes a document, a loan document. First of all, who writes a loan document? The lender or the borrower? The borrower. Of course, the borrower always writes the loan document.
Oh, right. You're right. That's right.
I, Aaron ben Levi HaKohen, I'm borrowing money, $100 from Shimon ben Yisachar, right? And now witness is signed.
Right.
So now we have a question. In the document says it's Aaron ben Shimon HaKohen, and witness when they sign, are they signing on the loan or are they signing on all the information document? I mean, they're attesting to the fact that the man's called is a Kohen. So if you're signing, they're attesting to the fact he's a Kohen, so you have two witnesses saying he's a Kohen. But if they're only signing on the debt and the information in them is irrelevant, so then you don't have two witnesses saying he's a Kohen. That's the question. That's the question. If you have information in a document, in a loan document, and you have witness signed it, right? Let's say that, we have the witness sign. Let's say, did the witness sign, I, Chaim ben Shlomo Kohen, aid. So the man's talking about himself. That's understood, he's not believed, right? Who's testifying him? He's testifying about himself. If he signed the signature, I am a Kohen. I, the so-and-so, the Kohen, and borrowing money from so-and-so. Now, witnesses are signing on what? Under that, on the information in that document. So the question is, are they only signing on the monetary discussion in the shtar? Not on the facts. Is it Kohen? Is he Levi? Who knows what? But when they sign, they're signing on all the information in the document that it's true. That it was been verified, and they're attesting the fact that everything's true and stated in the document. That means he's a Kohen. That's the shaila. What do you mean can't be? That's the shaila. Okay, why can't it be? Why can't that is the question we're asking. When witnesses sign on the document, are they signing on the monetary aspect of the document or everything that's included with the document?
What's brought in to say this is the person who is
no.
This is the person.
We want to know when witness sign a document.
This is what they call it, AKA. This is what they call it. This is the person. I would say that's the way it should go.
I wouldn't want to come to you to Paskin Shilas for me.
But isn't that what?
Well, the course posing a question.
They call me Jake. So all right. So I'm signing my name in parentheses. Well, this is Jake, but he took out $100,000 loan. He's also known as Howard.
Let me ask you, you take a loan out of a bank, right? And you say this is your name. You have to prove that that you're the guy, and that you own the building, and so on and so forth. I'm asking, you have to bring evidence. You have to bring proof that that's your collateral, and so on and so forth.
Right, and they call me whatever. They call me Time Yosef. They call me whatever, but they're not checking my name. They say this is what people will call me. Am I an actual coin? I don't know if they go into that. They say this is the person who I am. This is what they call me.
By the way, when did you have last time your cleaning lady came to your house?
Right.
That's okay. That's as much relevance the whole discussion has over here.
Oh, okay.
The Gemara is asking a question of witnesses on a document. Are they saying on the monetary aspect document or the information document? Finished.
I think not.
What you think is irrelevant. What you think. The Gemara has the question.
All right.
Okay. Rav Huna, Rav Chisda. Yeah, it's an argument between Rav Huna and Rav Chisda. Yeah, Rav Huna, Rav Chisda. That means the one who says differently argues with Howard Birnbaum. Right? That's what we're talking about over here. Rav Huna, Rav Chisda. Charom Amalin. One says that we do elevate him, meaning if witnesses sign, they're signing all the information document. So it's as if they're saying, yes, the man is a Kohen. Charom Ein Malin. The other one says no. They're only signing on the monetary aspect document, not the other information document. That's the argument. Iboilu. Ma'ala halos m'nesis kapayim luyuchsin. If a Kohen duchens, does that mean to say he's definitely a Kohen, and therefore you elevate him to a Kohen status, meaning to marry a kosher woman, or not? Meaning, let's say he has a daughter. Is his daughter a chalola or whatever it may be? You know, maybe he's a ben garusha, maybe he's who knows what he is. We had an argument with him. Person needs truma, do you elevate him liyuchsin? Why if he truma? Why do we elevate him? Because if he truma, what liability does it carry? Spiritual excision. Avol nesis kapayim iser essay. If a person is not a kohen duchens, he's in violation of an assay, because it says kosa baruch es bnei Yisrael. Right? Rashi says what the iser essay is. Kosa baruch, it says atem v'lo zorim. It's an inference. You should, but not a non-kohen. So you're in violation of an assay. So therefore, if you eat truma, we elevate you to yuchsin, but duchning. At worst, what did you violate? An assay? Maybe that's not enough to prove that you're a kohen. A person's not going to eat truma, right, which carries the most extreme level of liability, unless he's a kohen. So therefore, that's sufficient evidence. He is, so we elevate him to yuchsin, to the pedigree. But if he just duchens, which only has to say, oh, dilma, no. Lo shno, we don't differentiate. Tiboy leman di omar, lo. Ma'ein malin, hani mili truma dimsach lebitzino. Hear this? You say truma, you know why? We don't elevate. A person needs truma. It's bitzina. Nobody knows about it. Doesn't take that degree of arrogance. A person wouldn't, even if he's arrogant, he doesn't. Even if he's not that arrogant, he'll do it. He'll do it bitzina. Because where do you eat truma? Doesn't anybody know what I'm eating? I eat in my house. Yeah, even though truma has a more severe liability, if you brush it under the carpet, nobody knows about it, he'll do the wrong thing. But something which is the open, you're not a Kohen, that takes really a lot of arrogance. You know, it's like a guy shows up in the shul, thinks nobody knows who I am. I'm a Kohen. Gets the Kohen aliyah. Duchens. Next week you meet somebody in another shul, all of a sudden they're calling up for ladies. What's going on over here? You know, you get caught in because it's public. You know, you could get caught in your game. Oh, Dilma, Loshna, Rav Chizra, Rav Avina, Charam and Malin. The other one says no. If the person's duchens, you elevate him to yuchsin. Charam ein Malin. Amalei Rav Nachbar Yitzchok LeRava. Rav Nachbar Yitzchok says to Rava, Malals Mesias Kavayim LeYuchsin. See, he asked him, what do you do? Amalei Plukted Rav Chizra, Rav Avina. We just said that's the argument. Hilsamai. He says, I wonder what halacha. I sense not, but how do we rule? Amalei. I know I have a brisa. I don't know, but I have a proof. The Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Omer. Gedola Chazoka. Yeah, what is very important. Presumed status, whatever is in place, we just allow it to remain in place. Shenemar, quotes a pasuk. Now, what happened? The Jews spent 70 years in Bavel. Ezra took 40,000 Jews from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. The majority remained behind. When 40,000. The majority remained behind. When they were in Bavel, many not good things happened. Many married shiksas. There were all kinds of illegitimacy. There was all kinds of terrible things left behind in Bavel. They did terrible things. So let's say you have people who were Kohanim in Bavel. And now we shift over to Eretz Yisrael. And now they want to officiate, and they rebuilt the Beis Mikdash. Says, I'm a Kohen. He says, do you have a document, a pedigree to prove you're a Kohen? He says, well, I ate Truma. So if you ate Truma, you know something? Chazok says, whatever you did in Bavel, we could allow you to continue to Eretz Yisrael. There's among the 40,000. No, that's among the 40,000 that he brought up with him. So he said, you have a document, a pedigree, of course, you could officiate. But if you don't, you can't. But whatever you did in Bavel, because Bavel, there was rabbinic truma. Because it was not far, so they would tithe the grain. But you ate truma in Bavel, we allow you to continue eating truma in Eretz Yisrael. You duchen in Bavel, you could continue duchening in Eretz Yisrael. That's Gedol, that's Chazaka. Whatever was, we allow. But to go to another level, that we don't. We don't allow that. Shenemar, Ubnei HaKohanim, Bnei Chavayo, Bnei HaKotz, various families. The sons of the Kohanim, or the sons of Chavayo, the sons of Kotz, Bnei Barzilai, Asher Lokach Nos Barzilai Vegelodi, Ishav Yikra Al Shmom, Elu Bikshu Ksovom. He asked them, do you have the documents? Hamisyachsim, which identify your pedigree, which show your yichus. V'lo nimtzo, you hear this? And they couldn't produce the documents. These people came from families of Kohanim. Maybe the father, maybe their mother was a grusha. So if the mother's a grusha, they can't officiate. Okay? So what happens? Vayigoalu minam kuna. They were disqualified from kuna. Vayomer hatarshoso lohem. So Nehemiah was together with Ezra. He said to them, you cannot eat from the Kodesh Kodoshim, meaning from the Korbanos, Aramod Koilun Vetumim, until Mashiach comes. Because by Sheni did not have Nurim Vetumim. That's one of the things that they didn't have. So there was no way to verify. Unless you had your document of pedigree, under no circumstance will you officiate, under no circumstance will you eat a Korban. We'll see. But what you did in Bavel, that we will allow you to continue doing. You ate Truma in Bavel, you continue eating Truma. You duchen in Bavel, you can continue with duchening. Omar lehem, what did he say? Harei atem b'chaskaschem, b'mehisim ochlim b'gola b'kochi agvul. What you ate in the diaspora, the kochi agvul, the truma afkan b'kochi agvul. V'isol gadayit gemalim yisis kabayim liyuchsin. If we say whatever you did, you go from one level and you advance into the other level. Hani ken parsayu asil lasukinu. But if that's the case, if you say that if you duchen, we're going to elevate you to a pedigree level. So if we allow them to do what they did in Bavel, we'll elevate them. So what do you see from this pasuk over there? That you don't elevate them. That you leave it at that level. We're not concerned. You're going to go to the next step. Cave in the parsi yudaya osil askinu shani hocho the reich haskayu. We'll stop here.